Alright, it's no secret a lot of us are tired of how divisive politics are these days. And I get it. Look, politics should be about helping each other solve problems and build systems, and that takes creativity. And nothing quite stifles creativity like saying, our options are in one of these two packages, and we just gotta pick one. That said, a common way I see people try and deal with this problem is by assuming a position of default centrism. It assumes that the right position to take in any scenario is automatically the most moderate. Yeah, when you do things that way, you can say things like, oh yeah, but I see both sides. Better yet, you can critique the more extreme positions, and that'll help you sound like the voice of reason. When things are as polarized as they are now, hearing somebody who seems to take a more moderate approach can be really refreshing. I just want to push back on the idea that that's automatically the right approach. See, in the 1800s, when it came to abolishing slavery, I wouldn't have wanted to be a moderate. I don't think the moderates were on the right side of history then. Much later in the civil rights era, Martin Luther King said that it was the white moderate who disappointed him the most. Now today, there's a lot of issues, racism, sexism, where I very clearly have a side I want to be on. See, I think most of us recognize why it's unhealthy to just have unconditional allegiance to one political party or side without questioning things. But I think it's also unhealthy to try and just look for the halfway point in between those two extremes and set up camp there. See, the problem with that is that these are moving targets. What was conservative in the 1970s looks very different from what's considered conservative by today's standards. What's progressive in one country isn't in another. Allow me to John Madden this. So let's say a true moderate is like on the 50-yard line of a football field. That means you have some progressive people over here, some conservative people over here, and you're in between. So what happens when these guys drift to an even more extreme position? Suddenly, if you're just trying to find the middle ground in between everybody else, you're now on the 35-yard line. You're actually really easy to move. There's a term for this. It's called the Overton window. Now, perhaps the folks on the other side could move even more to their extreme. That might help rebalance you, might move you back to center, but also, this helps make the playing field a lot more polarized than it was from the beginning. This is ironic if your motivation for wanting to be in center is to reduce the polarization that we're in right now. Look, I'm not saying to just always be extreme. I'm not saying that the moderate position is necessarily wrong. I think there are a lot of great solutions in between more extreme ideas. What I am saying is that we should just question this assumption that center is automatically right. Sometimes it is, a lot of times it's not. Trying to see both sides can be a good thing. It's just no substitute for doing the work and doing what's right.